Good morning. Yeah, it's still morning. Good morning. I thought I was going to get on here earlier, but that did not happen. So, welcome everyone. For those of you that see this later, I usually edit this down. Um, I counted last night, we are on day 10. Well, actually, this would be day 11. Oh my God, I don't know why I can't get that count right. Day 11 or day 12 of me doing lives, because I challenge myself to do 30 days or 30 lives. It's not going to be consecutive days because I'm only doing Monday through Friday. So for those of you that don't know me, welcome. Thank you so much. My name is Cindi. I'm at Simply Cindi. I am a medium. I have a lot of modalities that I do: astrology, tarot, energy healing, hypnotherapist. I have a science and medical background, though that's not what I do. I'm a medium, first of all. That's an old life that I had. Anyway, so we have been talking and talking and talking, and y'all have been listening and listening and listening to me doing. We've been talking about the lunar eclipses that's coming. I went ahead and did a tarot spread because I was here on here before, and I did the Virgo thing and was overworking it. So with the pandemic happening and all of that, I stepped away. I've come back to do full time this year. I have just started. I think I started in January. So the algorithm doesn't really know me yet again, because I'm not doing it like I was doing it before. I'm not just doing tarot. There's gonna be all of it that all my modalities that I do. So anyway, we've been talking and talking about this eclipse with astrology, and so I was inspired the other day to do tarot. So I did tarot. I went in meditation. I made up a spread, and then I came out, and then I've been doing the tarot. Well, yesterday we finished all 12 signs. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the 12 signs. That is my spread. It's not like a Celtic spread or anything like that. It's just my spread to help you transition through the lunar eclipse. With eclipses, you don't have to do much. You don't have to work. You can be aware of what's going on, and that's okay, so that when things happen, you're okay, and you're not frightened, or you're not too anxious, or you're not in the fight and flight mode. Let me make sure that I've got us on, because I may have to start over. No, looks like I have us on. That's the other thing, is I've been having issues with um, hold on, I'm looking at this. Sorry about that. I've been having issues with my lives because they wanted us to go vertical. So I went vertical. There's an issue with, I can't even get into the vertical stream part. It's technical. I can't get into it. I can't even like access as a viewer live streams vertical. So I did that for a couple of days. It didn't work out. I'm back to doing the normal. But the issue I've been having is people can't communicate in my lives. So that doesn't help, especially like to build a community that we're trying to rebuild. And like today I'm gonna do open charts and open tarot. So like we're just gonna have a fun Friday for at least an hour or hour and a half or something like that. It kind of depends on when everybody gets in here. And the people that I want to do are those people, the people that have access to me first to let me see their chart, if they choose, are like Kathy and you that have been here. I was gonna say you people, you're my friends who have been here since I started doing this live. I want you to be able to get, a question answered, or us look at your chart, and maybe you have a question about the way that things are going in your chart, and you kind of look at it and you're like, but nobody ever talks about this part, and I don't know what this means, kind of stuff like that. We can also look at how this is going to affect you personally with the lunar eclipse and then the solar eclipse coming. Just any question like that. Excuse me. I told you I was opening myself up to mediumship. I explained that yesterday. Mediumship is who I am. I am a medium. So I always have my antennas out. It's really hard to explain, but because I'm older and practiced and seasoned and put boundaries around my energy since I was young, when I was young, it was really bad. Um, like The Sixth Sense, all those movies, all those stories. I mean, think about that. That was like, I yeah. I mean, I think sometimes it was worse. Sometimes, until I grew up and I understood, and then I learned that, and then because I have such a affinity for science and medicine and chemistry and all of that, I searched for what is this that I have and why do I have it? And then once I understood that, then I was like, okay, how do I control this? What do I do with it? Right? So that's my whole journey. I'm in my 50s. So I've had a big 50 years with this stuff. I'm over 50. So I've had a big 50 years with this stuff. I'm very, very trained. And so I have to, like, I explained this yesterday, but I have to like open myself consciously up to mediumship in the way that I'm going to do it here on YouTube, right? Anytime I have clients, I've had clients that I've had for years and years, almost a decade now, maybe even more than a decade. Um, I can do mediumship when I focus on it. I don't have to like open myself up to like have, when I see a client, when I see somebody that I've seen before, when I see somebody new, that's consciously doing it. But there's something to opening up to a bigger group. Um, I don't know. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like shining my light brighter. And so more spirits, energies can see me. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's really hard to explain. It's not like I can't do mediumship when I don't open myself up. I'm always open. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. But I have boundaries, and you guys would call them beings. I don't know what you call them. It's me, it's us, it's our bigger selves, but it's vetted through them. So any energies, any spirits, your loved ones would be vetted through my energy, through my beings, through my higher self, whatever you want to call that. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different belief system. So I know that when I do get something through, when I have my boundaries up, like I've had them, if something comes through, I know that there's a reason, right? I know that it's been vetted and they know that I would want to say this, right? The ones that are holding the gate, we'll just call it that. I don't know how to explain that. We'll just say that they're at the gate and they're like not only letting certain people in. Okay, we'll just leave that scenario. It's really hard to explain, but I'm trying to help you guys understand that now that I've like decided to shine brighter, I've decided to like do this on YouTube again. I've decided like I had to shut it down because way back in the day, you probably don't even, maybe there are a few of you that remember 2008, 2009 when I was on your indigo path. This is before the algorithm, before, they started, not only letting certain things go through. This is when it was like open market on YouTube. I used to have 5 and 10,000 people on my lives. And so that's a lot of energy and a lot of people's loved ones on the other side that I'm like um, having to wade through. I was like, I remember it being rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of people, of spirits on the other side when I would do these lives. So I had to like learn to curtail it, learn to like only let certain amount through for my energy, for y'all's energy, for the crowd. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but since then I have not opened it up because it was so much. It was a lot. I remember at one point my higher self taking over and me kind of going to the side, and I let everybody know that I remember that people that were around me, I was like, this was really huge, and it was like 10,000 people. that I had live. So I know that's a big number. You probably don't get that number anymore. That was when it was like an open, there was no algorithm that was put in place to like, you could have 10,000 people on a live. I mean, maybe you could now, I don't know, but that's how much it was. And it wasn't even that it wasn't that YouTube did lives. It was a live through a third party that I did it through, if that makes any sense. So I don't know why I'm talking about that, but I have decided to open myself up again for YouTube. So I will be doing mediumship. I already kind of knew that it was coming. And I am starting to be awakened at night. I am starting to be awakened. So I know that some of y'all, when I was telling the other story, they were like, yeah, the boundaries. And I know you want to hear my journey. So I am starting to, that's kind of why I'm a little late to coming on today, because I am starting to be awakened. There are starting to be like visible. I'll just say, I don't want to scare anybody. This is all normal to me, but it's like, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to like frighten you. So just know that there are visible signs that I'm opening myself up to all of this. And, it's my choice. I get to do it if I want. So, yeah. So if you understand and you understand that this is part of my work, you guys are welcome to buy me coffee. I would honestly, I'm going to talk to everybody about this later, but I honestly would like to have enough people just buy me coffee where that could pay my bills, and I can just sit on live and talk to you guys and do readings and do that. Like, I would love that, you know? Um, so yeah, that sounds like a good plan. So I don't see, there are people coming in. That was just me talking and blabbering. There are people coming in. Will you guys let me know, anybody that's here, will you say hello? Will you tap the heart screen? Let me know that you can communicate, just so that because if not, I'm going to have to start this again. So if you could let me know that you can communicate, if you can let me know that you can chat, I'm going to see if hopefully. Yeah, what happened last Friday was I couldn't do it either. So hopefully, I'm hoping that this Friday, today, because I wanted to do an open. It's so funny. My higher self is in charge, has been in charge the whole time. So last Friday, it just wasn't the time. And I'm hoping that this Friday is the time, but if it just doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So, um, I would like to look at some people's charts, see if you have any questions. There are those of you like Kathy, there are those of you like Issa, there's like several of you that have been with me every day doing this live. I mean, you missed a day here or there, but pretty much every day you've been with me. So I wanted to give you guys the chance to, like, if you have a question about your chart, if you have a question about this, lunar eclipse. And if you guys see this later, let me know if you liked the spread, the tarot spread, because I'm thinking of doing the astrology part and the tarot spread for each sign for the solar eclipse coming up, because that's a lot of work. And if it's not getting enough recognition, that's a lot of work. I don't want to do it and it not be recognized, right? Like my time, I've got to like be sure to know where to put my energy, right? So can anybody chat? Will you guys chat and let me know? I only see a couple of people here. I may have to stop and start again. I don't know what happens on Friday that it just not available. If you could give me an emoji, say hello, tap the screen. There aren't many people here. But if you could do that, then I could see if it's working. I'm going to refresh it and see. Yeah. It looks like there may be a problem with it. Hmm. I may have to I may have to start this again. It looks like I may have to start this again. Anyway, yeah, see, that's the problem. And I did tweet YouTube, let them know there's a couple things going on. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Sandra. Sandra says, hi, I'm new to your channel. Welcome. Thank you so much for letting me know that you can chat because I was about to have to close it down. So I appreciate it, so I don't have to do that. I've let YouTube know, but I'm just a little bitty, I'm a tiny little fish. I'm a tiny little fish in this big cesspool of fish for YouTube that we call YouTube. I'm tiny. They don't really listen to me. And they don't get, if anything goes wrong with my channel, they don't. YouTube is very good at open-ended answers. And I know because I used to do the same thing, being in the research medical field, talking to, CFOs, CEOs, blah, 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 blah. Like, I know exactly what they're doing. I used to do it too. So it's a lot of open-ended answers that can go either way, but they never really fix your problem. That's what I'm dealing with. But, you know, I just started. That's karma, right? Anyway, I'm not gonna do that to myself. So hi Sandra, thank you so much for coming in, saying hi. I appreciate it. I'm just kind of waiting. We can talk a little bit about what's going on today while I'm waiting for people to show up, because I don't know if YouTube's gonna like push this out or not. And I do have to leave in probably 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. So let's talk about what's going on today and in the next couple of days this weekend. So remember I told you Venus and Saturn were going to go exact. See, they're exact right now. So we talked about this being in Pisces the other day, but I'll talk to you guys if you haven't seen my other stuff. Venus is asking, I think it's a delay because best vibes from you, Puerto Rico. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's probably a delay. So, um, yeah, if I don't get people, I'm just gonna have to I only have like 40 minutes to be on. Anyway, so let's get back to here. So Saturn and Venus are together. They're exact. Remember, they were having the conversation. Saturn is asking you to be and asking Venus to be responsible in Pisces. Yes, you can be dreamy. Yes, but have you had your boundaries? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you doing the things that you're supposed to do for you, not the ones that everybody else wants you to do? Are you attracting your beauty instead of going after something like to make it love you or to make it like you or to make it be with you, right? Like Saturn is asking you to be responsible. That's kind of what's going on here. And we're about to have Mars come in. Mars, if you look at my other video, I talk about how Mars and Venus work together, kind of like they're kind of like married, kind of, but because I feel like each of them are part of, you have each of them of, you have each planet in you, within you, right? So hi, hi Angela. I'm so glad you're here too. Yeah, I was just saying if it doesn't go out and if I'm having too many problems, then I'm gonna have to like go because I've got to leave in like 40 minutes anyways. But I'm glad you joined. Thank you so much. Um, so I'm just talking about Venus and Saturn. They're exact right now. We have the sun moving further away from Neptune. So remember I said that you guys were probably feeling a little off, confused, or maybe like I thought I saw something the right way, but I'm not seeing that anymore. It's getting more clear. But the big aspect today is that Venus and Saturn are together. They're having that conversation because Mars is about to enter in here. And I feel like This is about you attracting and holding your boundaries. There's boundaries that need to be held. For everybody, it's different because Pisces is a different area in your sign, right? Um, Saturn is asking you to be responsible, to like say, be mature enough to say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And because this is another aspect, because Pluto is over here talking to the North Node, which is our destiny, where we're going right now. It's talking to the sun, but it's like keeps going back and forth, right? So this is about um and with the sun moving into here and Chiron and Mercury, this is about, and there's a wound here. Remember, there's a wound. There's Chiron, the key, the wound. This is about you really forming what you want. That's Venus. What do I want? How do I see my life? How do I see relationships? That's the South Node that you're working with. How do I see relationships around me? Have I done the right thing? Do I have the right people? What can I do when we have such an attachment to some of these people? Um, how can we change this? How can it be more balanced? How can I do this without such a big disruption? I don't want to hurt myself, Chiron, or other people. How are we going to change this? How is this? Hey, Catherine, how is this? How do we do this? Right. And right now, you're not supposed to know the answers. You're supposed to just begin to see. We're going to be working on this for the next 18 months, right? Because you can't just, there are some people, I'm trying to give a scenario. We'll just say a family member, right? Mm, maybe it's like a young, okay, maybe it's a young, I'm trying to get the right scenario. Maybe it's a child that you have, right? It's a grown up, they're grown up, they're adult, right? And they go over your boundaries all the time. They're still living in your house, and we kind of already know it's fine to live in your house. Um, because of the way that the economy and the state of the way everybody is right now. That's not the point. The point is they're going over your boundaries. The relationship between you and them is not balanced. But there are some things from a long time ago that maybe you guys have to hash out, right? So you're not immediately going to walk away from them in this lunar eclipse, but maybe you say, okay, let's talk about how these things can change in our house together since we're living together. And then maybe that person decides, your child says, well, I'm grown up enough and I'm now making some good money, and maybe I can't leave right now, but maybe I can work on in the next year, saving the money and like getting out. But until then, let's do this, let's do that. Will you be sure to tell me when I trigger you? Will you be like this? These are things that you're going to be working on, right? But that's what Saturn is asking you to do with asking Venus to do, asking you to do with Venus is like honor yourself. What do you want? Take a responsibility, be an adult. And it's happening in your house of Pisces, but we're all moving to this. I got to do it and honor myself, right? I've got to balance these relationships. I've got to learn how to do diplomacy in a way that's not so egotistical, where it's like, I'm going to be diplomatic, but that's just because that person doesn't really need to know that part. It doesn't mean I'm going to keep something from them so that because I think that they're going to get hurt. That's a different thing. It's just because that's not part of the equation. That's being diplomatic, right? That's not lying. That's coming from a different space. Like that's what you're going to be dealing with. Yeah, dealing with over the next like 6 months, especially for this round, because then we go, because you also have the solar eclipse, and then we go back to a lunar eclipse, but it's not going to be in Libra, right? Okay, so does that make sense? So right now, Saturn is asking you, and a lot of you are so used to, no, I want this. Yes, I want that. No, this is beautiful. This is not beautiful. No, I want my relationship this way and I want that way. And I don't think a lot of you realize that's not really what you want. But it's been put upon you by society, by your culture, by your parents, by your whatever, by your friends, by the things that you see around you. And where I'm going with this is Saturn in Pisces is asking us to reevaluate and look at our belief systems. Are our belief systems limiting? That's what she's saying. That's what he's saying to Venus too. What do you believe in? What do you believe you're worth? What do you believe you can have? What do you believe in? What has is your belief limiting, or is it open to the sky? Like, do you understand how much you're worth? Do you understand how much you matter in this world and society, with people around you, in your family, with your partner? You know, that's what Saturn being in Pisces, this whole 2.5 years that it's going to be in Pisces, it's already been in a year. But this whole time, it's asking us to look at our belief system. And now that it's talking to Venus, it's like we're looking at what I want you to look at what you can have. But what do you believe that you can have? I need you to understand your belief system. You need to take responsibility and say, well, I never, instead of like, well, I never get that and I never did. But maybe your belief system is that only good people get that, right? And if you believe only good people get that, and then you believe that you're not that good or you're not good enough, you don't even have to be bad, just not good enough, then you're not going to get that. That's what Saturn is asking us to do. Reevaluate and understand where you believe. What are your limiting beliefs? What are your restrictions in belief? What are your restrictions, Venus? What's restricting you from attaining and attracting and beautifying the things around you? Does that all that make sense to you guys? Xander says, I'm Virgo ascendant in Libra. Lost my parents recently and been through cars and I can't read that other part. I'm so sorry. Oh, been through chaos the last 4 years. Yeah. Yeah. I felt like a lot of people had a big change. Like, well, yeah, obviously we all had a big change in the last 4 years, right? But I feel like a lot of people, especially the ones that are seeing me, have had it really, really tough. How do I know that? Because like attract like, and I've had it really, really tough. So, um, yeah. And you're a Virgo ascendant. Wow. I have a Virgo South node, so I know that overthinking, being too critical, I'm not enough, I didn't do it right, I can do it over again, like all of that. Yeah, I get it. It's the South node for me, so it means I've mastered it. It's the most comfortable space for me, so I can sort of sit back in it. It's the place where when I get tired or I'm not feeling well, that's what I do. I want to work extra hard and do extra things and organize extra and then be critical of myself. Does that make sense? I know that makes sense to you. Uh, the chat is working on the sun. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. I think she's getting it late. I think she's going back and looking at the beginning. Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Um, that's the thing is this is just me beginning to teach you, or I'm not even teaching you guys. I'm just reminding you of some tools that we have on this earth and this life this time. And one of them is astrology, right? You guys are really evolved souls. I'm not teaching anything. I'm just reminding you. That's all I've ever done is just remind people of their path, of who they are, of what they came for, of, that's just it. And so I say that because I'm reminding you as the days go by, this is what Aquarius means. This is what Pisces means. This is what the sun means. This is what the moon means. This is what happens when they interact. This is blah, 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 blah. And I'm trying to bring it down to earth, right? And I'm getting to that point because once we're like 6 months, 8 months in, when I say the sun is talking to Mercury, y'all are going to be like, oh, I understand what that means. And then we can move on to the next level. The next level is like, well, because they're talking to them, now I'm going to teach you guys how to step into each sign. Hi, Dot. Oh, Dot. Hi. I'm so glad you made it. So I'm going to teach you guys how to like step into each sign, step into your Aquarius side, step into your Libra side, step into your Pisces side, step into your Sagittarius side. I'm going to teach you guys how to, again, I'm not teaching. I say that because that's the way we communicate, but I'm not teaching you. I'm just reminding you of what you kind of already know. Monica, hi, Cindi. Great to catch you. You're live. I'm Aquarius Sun, Scorpio Moon, Virgo Ascending. Seems very important area has fallen apart. Every time I try to bring light and push forward, something happens. You need to take another look at that, Monica. So why is it falling apart? I know that's not, there's something in there that you're, and again, I told you guys, we're not seeing it clearly. It's showing itself, but the end result's not showing itself. So these things are needing to, the perfect example is when I was doing the reading yesterday for, I can't remember what sign, but I was like, there's so much entangled web that it's going to take a while to untangle it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Um, I want to say, so if anybody is, and I will think I can put your stuff up here. If anybody wants to give me or has a question about their chart, so Dot and Catherine and Angela, because you guys have been here. It's not like you others haven't, but you got other ones are new. Catherine, all of you, anybody here, basically. I know Sandra's new, but Dot's not new. Monica's not new. Anybody, if you guys have a question that's here right now, and I can pull up your chart, and you've always had like a question about how does this work? What does this mean in my chart? I'm willing to answer that right now. But the issue is that I do have to put your chart up on the screen. So just know that, okay? But if you guys have a question, that's kind of why I wanted this. Today, I just kind of wanted an open forum. I'm not going to be able to, oh, Dot, you're giving me yours? Perfect. Okay. So, oh, you're a 1990s baby. Let me try to open a new one. Can you give me your city that you were born, Dot? So I need the city, I need the time, and your birthday. So I'll put your birthday up here. Your birthday is $19.90. And I need your birth time. You're welcome. Okay, birth time is 2:15 a.m. And then I need the city, Chicago. Oh, no, not Chicago, sorry. Okay. Is it Kosice? It's Slovakia, but is it Kosice? Is that the city? It's not USA. There we go. Slovakia. Okay, so Slovakia or Slovak, pronounced Košice. Okay, Košice. Did I say that right? Košice? Košice? I'm probably butchering that. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Cindi. I'm a Scorpio rising. Okay, hold on. Let me get Dot. So hopefully this works. I think I got everything. There we go. Okay. Perfect. 2:15. So you are, does this look correct, Dot? Are you a Libra rising? Does that look correct? I know, I'm sorry. I butchered it. I butchered your town. I'm so sorry, or your city. Okay. So you're a Libra rising and you're a Sagittarius sun and oh, so you were born on a full moon as well, kind of a full moon. Not a full moon. Okay, that's the correct chart. Okay. Ooh, wow. Look at here. I hope that you're doing something that is in front of people. Because if you feel confident inside, it works out for you. And that's your south node too. But you do need to be a little bit more introspective. Does that make sense? And it feels like it's too hard when you do it. That's Saturn. It's like you know you should be doing something. That's like the perfect job for you. I'll tell you why, you because you're doing your art, which would bring it out, which is like Cancer, right? Out into the 10th house. But you're helping people in the background so that they can come out, right? Yeah. You can work with Saturn. Saturn just wants you to take responsibility. He doesn't want you to like say, "Oh, I'm going to start this," and then not finish it, right? Like if you're going to do something, he wants you to follow through, and then he gives you the reward. That's the thing about Saturn, where Pluto's like the reward is you don't have to carry the heavy bag anymore. That's how Pluto is. Saturn is, no, I'll give you a gift. I'll give you something because of it. Where Pluto, when you work with your Pluto, his reward is you don't have to carry this heavy bag anymore. That's your reward, you know. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to carry this trauma anymore. That's your reward. But Saturn is more like, that's why I call him Daddy Saturn. He's like the father that will give it to you once you show the responsibility. Okay. So, just looking at your chart, what was your question? Do you have a specific question? Or do you just kind of want me to look at it? Good, perfect. And honestly, this will give other people a chance to see my work. Um, wow, you got that Pluto in the second house. Do you see that over your life you've had lots of money and then no money? Okay. So I'd like to know if like in your life you've had lots of money. Like for you, it's like, yeah, it's like we call it here in my southern way is feast or famine. So it's like either feast where there's so much abundance or it's famine where there's absolutely nothing coming through, right? Yeah, that's Pluto in your second house. Did you see the Pluto in the second house video that I did? This is about your worthiness. You can have it flow better. It's just, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Okay. Yeah. So, but let's see. So this has been a lifetime thing for you. It's probably gotten better, except for when you don't take responsibility for what you're wanting to do, then it'll activate. See how it talks to your north node? So it's heavy. Man, you made it really hard on yourself. Yeah. But it's not just that, it's your belief system too. It's like, do I believe that I can get this? Or because this is the way that it's always been, that's just the way it's always going to be. Like, you need to change the belief system. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely you can be. But what I want to say is because Pluto has been all your life talking to Saturn and your north node, then you have to you can't just say, oh well, I feel better about myself and I'm gonna think better about myself and I'm gonna blah 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 blah, blah. You have to like take action about this. Like you're one of the people that has to meditate. Hey Kathy. I know. That's kind of, I'm hoping that people get it. And I was hoping that you would, Kathy. Um so Dot, you're one of those that can't just say it. You have to actually put into practice the modalities. If for you meditation means I go for a walk every day, then guess what? You're gonna have to go for a walk every day, or take a salt bath or whatever. You can't just say it. You have to like do it because Saturn won't let you get away with just saying it. Like a Pisces can say it and manifest it out of nowhere. You actually have to put something to it to do that. So, and it's heavy with Pluto. It's attached to like heavily. It goes with your north node. This is what your soul is trying to in this life break the chains of, because you probably came from lineage, family that said, no, we can never have that. We just have to survive. We can't have that. There's no dreaming. There's only surviving. Where's your next plate of food coming from? Um where's your blanket? Do you have enough blanket to keep warm? Do you have enough clothing to keep warm? There's no dreaming. You don't dream. This family doesn't dream. That's way beyond us. We have to stick with what we know to be able to live life and survive. Not even living, just surviving life. That's probably what you've come from with this. I mean that Pluto is heavy because it's attached to that north node, but you are Dot. Yes, had thoughts about how we never allowed ourselves to enjoy. Exactly. But guess what, Dot? That's what you've come to do. You've come to like let go of that. Your lineage doesn't have to carry this anymore. It doesn't have to carry this anymore, but it's going to take a lot of work from you. It's going to take a lot of like, I believe in myself. I'm going to put the work. And that's why you've made it this way where Saturn is like, you don't just get to dream it and bring it in. You have to like, with your family lineage, with your DNA, you have to like, I'm going to put the work in. But when you do, that's why it's attached to Saturn. Because if it was just Pluto, again, your reward would be, oh, I feel better and I am getting some more stuff and it's okay. That, like I feel a lot lighter if it was just Pluto. But because it's with Saturn, Saturn's like, we're going to give you great reward. When you learn to enjoy yourself, when you put the practices in, when you not just say that you believe in something, but that you're putting in the practice of believing in yourself more, believing in something bigger, in, like you said, enjoying yourself. You're welcome. Um, like that is major heavy. That's kind of the only thing I want to talk about for you. If you want to come see me at some point, Dot, we can go over the rest of it, but that's really heavy for you. You have to actually show yourself. I wouldn't even say show the world or show spirit or anything. Show yourself that you can do it. Um, if it takes, like, you're the one that's like, yes, I can enjoy myself. I am going to have um what I like, what I want, and enjoy. And the more that you enjoy, the more reward you're going to get because it's attached. These three, these are heavy. This is heavy past life, future life stuff. This is heavy. Like, this is the stuff I would love to put you under for. I would love to put you in hypnosis and see. But you have all of, and let me tell you this before, and then I'll go to the next one. You have all of this support. This is the sun. When you believe in yourself, Venus will attract the money. You are very good at communicating within yourself, but you need to show people who you are more because that's your support system. Because you have Neptune, where you can manifest, and you have Uranus, where you can do things that nobody else has done. Does that make sense? Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So the next was Angela. Angela? I think it was Angela, right? Or Monica. Sorry. Was it Monica that was giving me the? Yes, Monica. Sorry. Oh, Monica, you're Aquarius January. Oh, okay. Monica, are you still here? Let me know if you're still here. You're welcome. I do. Kathy just put the email up here. Okay, Monica, let me put your stuff up here. Okay, perfect. So can you write your city again? Are you in the US? And then your birth date and your birth time for me. I think you said January 25th. That's a prominent birthday of people I know around me a lot. So that's funny that you're January 25th because I attract a lot of January 25th. January 25th, 73. Oh, perfect. In Chicago. Okay. 1973. Chicago, Illinois. You're a Chi-Town girl. You're a good old Midwestern girl, Monica. Love it. You right? Yeah. A little. Oh, well, you are an Aquarius, so I would say you're hiding in being a Midwestern town. Yeah, I was gonna say you're hiding. You're not really you wanted people to see you as the Midwestern girl, but you're not really. Okay, in your birth time. 9:16 p.m. Okay. 9:16 p.m. Oop. So is it Chicago Heights? Doesn't matter. I'll just put Chicago. It doesn't matter. Oh my gosh. That is like not coming up. 9. Okay, perfect. Been everywhere, Caribbean South. Yep, you are a definite 25th Aquarius. Oh, wow. I am telling you, all of you guys have like really hard Pluto aspects, like me. Like I sit here and say, well, Pluto's heavy in my chart. It's heavy in y'all's chart too. Hi, Issa. I saw that you emailed me, Issa. I will get back to you this weekend. I have not had a chance, and I want to really give you the time so that we can get you on my schedule. Um, okay, so yeah, look at this, Monica. You are a Virgo ascending, so it's like my South Node. Like you're so critical of yourself, and then you have the Pluto right there. You really are trying to discover who you are in this life. So do you have a specific question? You are a Sun Aquarius, like I said. Where's your moon? You are a deep, deep thinker as an Aquarius. Oh, do you have trouble getting out of your head? Yeah. Yeah, that's a definite with that Aquarius Sun, but do you have trouble getting out of your head? You have that, yeah, because you've got that deep, like you're a deep thinker, and feeler. Because you have that Aquarius Sun, but that moon is in Scorpio. It's almost like you have a relationship. Do you have a partner? Because it's like you can have a relationship with yourself and not need anybody. But you're trying to figure out who you are, right? Yeah. So here's the thing. Remember the other day when I said this can kind of give you a this can kind of give you a hint about you. Okay. Remember when I said if everybody were to look at their chart and they look at their ascending, if you have a lot of your planets over here, you're trying to do inner work. It's not like you're not trying to live life out here. It's like you get your epiphanies, you get your growth, you get no, not your growth. You get your understanding, you get your epiphanies, you get your sense of self through inner work. It's not like outer work doesn't come. It's like inner work. This is it's like you want to like it's almost like you want to escape life and just do your inner work. That's how you feel. It's like anybody that has this, that's what they want to do. They want to like do the inner work and they don't want to do out there. Does that make sense? Now for you, I know you said that you've traveled, but that's because that's that's like your ninth. See Saturn in your ninth? Right. It's like the Saturn in your ninth, you're trying to figure out, like, it's like, there's something there, there's more knowledge there, there's something out there that can help you reflect back to you, mirror back to you, and give you a different aspect of understanding that you haven't gotten. That's the ninth house, the bigger house, right? It is Taurus. I mean, Saturn is in Gemini, um, which can get a little chaotic, but it is a Taurus house ruled, right? It's ruled by Taurus's house, right? Yes, definitely isolated. I would see that because you see all of this, you're trying to like, you have all these planets here because you're trying that, and that's your north node. Okay, so I will say this. You got lucky. And we all know, I'm just going to say it that way, but we all know we didn't get lucky. We just made it the way we made it, right? Where Dot had the Saturn right next to her north node, you have Venus right next to your north node. So I will tell you this, when you do you and not, and it's so hard to try to figure out because you got the moon in Scorpio, what you is, and you're trying to identify, who am I? What am I supposed to be doing here? I don't feel like I'm supposed to be this person in my body. This is a different culture. I'm in the wrong place. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like you feel like that, and you're so deep as a Scorpio moon, but you get rewarded when you do this as you figure yourself out. Did you see my Monica, did you see my video for Pluto in the first house? You need to go watch that. That's very important for you. Um, because you are, and this is, and you got it retrograde, which means you've tried this many times in different lives. You many times in different lives. Okay. You're gonna do it this time because you met me. You're gonna do it this time because you met me. We're all gonna do it since you met me. Like, trust me, I'm not one to repeat a lot, so we're gonna do it. Yes, yeah. Rewatch. This is really important for you. But I'm telling you, when you can get your sense of, maybe look at it this way, Monica. It's not that you're one person or one identity. It's that which one are you going to choose to be more of in this life. So it's not a right, we're all thinking like it's a right or wrong answer. I'm this and I'm not that, right? You're all of it. You've always been all of it. You just have to decide, with the way that life is, with where I put myself in this country, with the fact that I put myself in this country, with the fact that I have the people around me, what aspects, who am I in that? Does that help? Who am I in that? Right? You've been through identity crisis after identity crisis after identity crisis, because what happens is when you get tired and you want to do and be like, well, oh, I almost cursed, sorry. When you're like, oh, forget it, I'm just gonna be who they think they are. They think I'm this, and so I'm gonna be this. Well, guess what? Pluto's like, no, you're not. And I'm gonna show you some trauma, right? And I'm laughing because what are we gonna do? Laugh or cry, right? That's what's gonna happen. That's what happens. Like when you give up and you don't do you, Pluto's like, I'm gonna show you some trauma, and you're really not gonna be happy. And then you're gonna have to go isolate, and then you have to go try to figure it out, and then you're gonna have to like re-identify, and then you're gonna be mad, and then you're not gonna love anybody, and then you're gonna like it's this cycle that you're doing over and over. And Aquarius sun, your sun is like, what the hell? Why can't I figure it out? A plus B equals C. I've done it a different way, but you have until you haven't, right? Dot. That's so funny. Somebody should make a Pluto handbag. Somebody needs to make a Pluto handbag, and we'll sell it. That would be cool. Or each, yeah, Pluto handbag. Yeah, I've learned to let go a lot. It's not, yeah, but I'm telling you. So you need to go. So one, you need to go watch the Pluto series again. You need to go watch the Pluto series, especially because you've got a lot of stuff down here. Okay. But secondly, the key is when you do you, once you identify who you is, who you have decided to be, who you want to be now through your experiences, through when you understand from like the fourth house, just because that is my lineage does not mean that that's me. I am me. I am a small girl from Chi-Town who traveled the world. That's a very different small girl from Chi-Town who didn't. Um, when you do that and decide, this is who I am, this is who I want to be in this life, it doesn't mean that I'm not those other things. It means that this is how I want to represent. This is what I want in my life. When you do that, you have so much reward here. That's your North Node. And Venus is right there to like, Venus, she'll just keep giving you money, giving you things, giving you beauty, giving you. Like sometimes Saturn has to go over there and like calm her down. Or yeah, because Mars isn't even any better with her. I see and feel that profoundly. Perfect. Okay, Monica. Perfect. All right. Um, who was the next one? Angela? Okay, I'm gonna do Angela, then I'm gonna do Kathy, because Kathy has been here the whole time. Kathy has been here. So you guys think of a question, or if you just kind of want me to look at it. So I'll do Kathy, and then I'll do Angela, and then I'll do Kathy. Okay, and then I'll probably have to go by then. So you're welcome. And again, if you guys want to come see me, that we'll work on your stuff. We'll look at your stuff. And then we'll see what we see, right? We'll help you get through this stuff. This stuff is stuff you guys have been working on a long time. You just need a little tweak. That's all I'm going to be doing is helping you tweak it, right? I'm helping you work with your really hard planet, that North Node. You got really lucky having Saturn up there, but he's really making you work hard for that belief system. He's really making you work hard. Okay. So is NL New Zealand? Is that what it is, Angela? Okay. Oh, Netherlands. Sorry. You know what they say about us Americans, right? There we go. That is so crazy. So you, my lovely one, are a Capricorn, like my husband, late husband. I keep saying husband like it's here. It's a late husband. Sorry. And then what's your birth time? Oh, you wrote it down. Never mind. 5:23. 3 a.m. Okay. All right. New Year's, baby. Right? Oh my gosh. Every time I open one of y'all's charts, it's like, Jesus, what the hell? Angela, you did warn me about this. You said you had that stellium, right? But it's right in your first house, which I didn't know. Like, oh my gosh. My chart does not look so bad now looking at y'all's charts. Because I have the same thing, but kind of the same thing going on, but the opposite in the seventh. Um, but I'm no better because mine's intercepted, right? Um, oh, we can use the whole size system. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't. Like, I have a theory about the whole size, the Placidus to whole sign, right? Um, so yeah, to me that this is a little bit more accurate about where it lands in your area of life. That to me is that, right? So, because it's in your first house, because otherwise it would be what, your second house, right? Um, yeah, it's your first house, I feel like. We'll work with that. Yeah. Do you have an issue with self-worth? I don't feel like that. Do you have an issue with, resources? I mean, aside from everybody having that issue right now, right? Do you have an issue with any of that? Yeah, like that's not a big thing for you. It is your south node too. Your north node. So let's go by if we look at this as your second, right? Your your north node would be eighth, which means you have an issue with people using you for resources, or it not being balanced when you do resources or contracts, or you don't see it in the way that you should see it with, really, like, it's almost like you're picking the wrong people to go into deeper, not just relationships but partnerships. Does that make sense, Angela? It's almost like when you decide to be, yeah, you overgive. Yeah, definitely. That's if we were to do whole signs and your north node was in the eighth house. But I think we need to do Placidus because the north node in the seventh house, right? Is that correct? Your north node in the seventh house is an issue. You want to, you have this understanding of the way a partnership should be, whether that's in business or that's personal, but you try to be the savior to everyone. So even though you want it balanced, um, and you want a balanced relationship, and all this tells you, yeah, when you want a balanced relationship, you'll go into that saving somebody or trying to save somebody or trying to help them or trying to like fix them. And what happens is it's not balanced, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's this right here. That's this kindness. So with your first house, You have to, that's another thing. Where's your Pluto? Uh, I just went through this transit of Pluto being in your 11th house. Okay. You got a lot going on. I'm just going to focus on the two couple of things. You have to learn balance, and you have Chiron over here looking at you in your seventh house. You have to learn balance. You have to learn to see the signs of the types of partnerships and relationships that are coming towards you. Okay. Like you get this ideology about, because um, you get this ideology about, how do I say this? You have this understanding about the way that you want. I think I said this before. You have this understanding about the way that you want relationships, or the way that you want people around you. It is very, 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 very important that people do not lie to you. And then you get people that lie to you, or you attract people that lie to you, or people come around that lie to you. Does that make sense? Because, and the big thing is because Pluto here in your 11th house will always, until you fix this, until you release this baggage, until you've had this trauma that you've had for lifetimes that probably your lineage just had a little bit of. I don't feel like it in your lineage a lot as much as it's in you, right? Well, to me, family is a relationship. It's just a different type of relationship. So it doesn't like, that's what I'm saying. You got to open up the seventh house to like all kinds of relationships, all kinds of partnerships, right? So, um, but with Pluto being in your 11th house, and you have to go watch my 11th house, Pluto. I just went through this transit when you probably felt like you, how do I say this? You probably felt like you, um, believed so much in your family, in a system, in a way, and then you came to a point where you realized that they had betrayed you, so you were like not looked at the same way, and then you sort of try to back away, which even more so if it's your family made you look like the bad guy, right? But they're the ones that ousted you and didn't want. It was because you found them out. Does that make sense? It was because you found them out. And you have probably been going through this with not just your family, but um with groups, with systems. It's like you believe in something so wholeheartedly. There's your Scorpio, right? You believe in something so wholeheartedly, and then to find out that it's all been a lie, right? And so I don't know that if you've worked through this, um, but until you understand that you have come to be in groups, you have to be a, when you're ready to be part of the group, or you make your own group, that's very important for you. Um, but because you have everything, so do you feel like maybe you don't need relationships? You are a Scorpio first house, and it is in your south node. I'm feeling like you have this, because the moon's right next to your south node. I'm feeling like you have this, almost like this vision of, I can do it without anybody. I can be independent. I can do all of that. I don't really need people. I've been betrayed so many times. People aren't who they say they are. I kind of feel like that. And because it's your south node, that makes you feel really comfortable. But is it that you want relationships, or is it that you don't want relationships? There's something about like that. no wonder you're so confused. You have a Scorpio that says, I want to meld with somebody. I know that there's a way to like totally, completely meld. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that's your 11th house. What will happen is we get so distraught or so when we see the truth about the groups or the systems that you then want to isolate and decide and be mad and be like, I just won't trust anybody. I don't want to do all of that. But then you have to like open yourself back up because you are supposed to be in a partnership, relationship, groups. Groups can mean you and another person. Okay. But your 11th house is activated, your 7th house is activated, and your first house is activated, right? And they've got really important, that's your north node, that's your south node, that's your Pluto, right? And oh my gosh, yeah, you are so confused because Saturn is in your 12th house. You can't even see what Saturn wants you to see, but you can feel it because it's a Scorpio house, and your Scorpio house is huge. Scorpio is huge here. Um, and Scorpio is your first house. It's who you identify with, right? But there's something about the South Node that's saying, I really don't need anybody. But your North Node is like, no, you do need somebody. And Pluto's like, yeah, you came here to be with somebody, right? And you're like, well, tell me what work to do. Tell me how to do the work. And Saturn's like, I'm trying, but you can't hear me. You can't see me clearly. Does that make sense? Right. Does all that make sense to you? Like, I'm not going to be able to give you any answers. I'm not going to be able to give you any answers right now. Yes. But I want you to know that you're in the right direction. I want you to know that you're in the right direction. So let's look at the eclipse and how that's going to affect you really quickly. And then we'll go on to Kathy, and then I have to go. So the eclipse is going to be, where is Aries, right? So it's 15 degrees Aries. That's going to be in your fourth house. So the solar eclipse looks like it's going to be affecting your fourth house, right? Your lunar eclipse is affecting, if it's at 15 degrees, it's going to be affecting your 10th house, right? Um, for over the next 2 years, you're going to be working on where you came from, really understanding who you are in the fact that you are you, and even though there's a connection to your ancestors and your family, you're not them. Yes, I take some characteristics of that, of them, but I'm not them. I don't do things like them. I'm not supposed to do things like them, and I don't have any guilt about not doing things like them. I'm very, very, very different. And then how you want to be seen in the world. That's what you're going to be working on over the next 18 months. But I'm telling you, when this happens or as this happens, because it's going to be here and it's going to be here and here and here. As this happens, you may have somebody coming in 2 years, a year. You got to get through this Chiron here. You're trying to identify yourself next to your lineage and your family, and then identify yourself in the world, and then your partner comes in. Does that make sense? Okay. So come see me. I mean, you got a whole bunch of other stuff that we can talk about, and it's very confusing to you. It's not easy for you. You do have some good aspects going on. You got Mars in your 11th, so you do know how to hold your ground. even though Pluto's there. But you'll find yourself in situations where you're like, oh my God, everybody just betrayed me. What the hell did I do? All I am is kind, and people betray me, right? Okay. All right, and the last one is Kathy, and I'm sorry, we will do this again if you guys like this. As we get more people on, as we get more people going, we'll do this. You're welcome, Angela. We'll do this again. I just thought Friday would be nice. If you guys like this, I have no problem answering a question or two for charts. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see, Kathy. Do I have your stuff? Can you give me your birthday, birth time, and birthplace? You know what I was just thinking, Angela, your question you asked, I wonder with these eclipses. Yeah, you're correct. When these eclipses this season is over, your person comes, I think. I'm not gonna say he or she doesn't come before then. I'm just gonna say around the ending of that time, you'll be onto the relationship part of your life. That makes sense? Okay, Kathy. It can always happen before. Again, once we're aware and we can clear stuff out on our own, the planets are here to help us, the energy's here to help us, but we can do it on our own. We're magnificent beings. We can do whatever, right? So the timeline isn't like set in stone. Okay. Dearborn, Michigan. Oh, okay. You have someone in your heart already. Perfect. I'm just going to use regular Dearborn. And then the date is August 25th. Oops. Are you a cusp? Yeah, you're a cusp. At 1:30 p.m. Okay. So August 25th, 1952, 1:30 p.m. Let me know if this looks like you, Kathy. You have a Sagittarius ascending. And you have a Libra moon. Oh, wow. And a Virgo sun. Oh, God. Oh, so that Virgo wants to that Virgo wants to be critical, but that Sag is like, yeah, whatever. And that Libra's like, everybody listen to, everybody needs to be heard. Everybody needs to be heard. Yeah, that Aquarius North Node, and it's in the inner part too. That's the third house. Do you do any like do you do any writing? Do you do any vlogging? Do you do any like is your work having to do with um like journaling or um could be like the internet. Like do you you're I feel like with your North Node you want to communicate a lot of things, but you don't know how to. And I'm wondering why the how to, like, or you feel like you don't know how to, right? Does that make sense? I feel like there's a lot to say. I feel like you understand a lot about this world, Kathy, and you have this desire to communicate it, but you don't know in which way to do it. Does that make sense? I also feel like you might feel like you're blocked here because you've got Pluto right next to your south node. So, Kathy, I can tell you right now, since you got Pluto next to your south node, you tried to cheat before in another life. So you put that Pluto there so that you couldn't access that south node so easy. I used to, but now I just have a, yeah, that's what I feel like. Yeah. I feel like you are an evolved soul. You're a really evolved soul. And it's like you knew how to access this, and so you put Pluto here because you need to work on Pluto anyway, but it's like you can't do it easily. I'm not saying it can't be easy. Hey Laura, I'm saying I can say this to you because you're a Saggy. It's like you cheated and you're not supposed to cheat in other lives. And so this time you put Pluto here, right? And I think with Pluto being in your ninth house and the South Node and the Sun, I mean, like, look at the Sun; it's right there, and Mercury. Let me look at you. Put the ruler of the third house, which is Mercury, in your ninth house to be able to access it, but you put Pluto right there so that you couldn't access it so easily, right? So, where are we now? Man, you got Venus right at your midheaven. That means whatever you do, you just attract good luck, like with your jobs, with a career, with like even if you did social media, you would just attract a lot. It would go very, very well for you. Your problem is not having the skills or the knowledge to do. I'm so happy though. Yeah. Your Kathy, your problem is a lot like mine. Is it deep enough that I want to even give the energy to that? It's like, yeah, I could be a doctor, but I don't really want to be a doctor because doctors have to work in the system and they're lying. Does that make sense? Like that. It's like you have the brain capacity, you have the quickness of learning a task or a skill or a even deep ancient knowledge. Like you have that, but your problem is right here. Here's your problem. Your problem is, does it have integrity? If it doesn't have integrity, I can't do it. And so for that reason, Chiron in that second house, you will have nothing in resources because your integrity had to be satisfied first. Does that make sense? You also have a temper here. Or I mean, you probably worked through it now that you're older, but you probably had a temper when you were younger. Does that make sense, Kathy? Right? Um, yeah, I see your Saturn here in your 10th house. You've had a lot of luck with that. Yeah. So you get a lot of luck if you decide to like do something. You do have to put in a lot of work, but you get a lot of reward. I had nothing, but I am recovering from myself. Yeah, exactly. That's this Saggy right here that's messing with you in the North Node and the South Node. It's like, uh, yeah. I mean, I say I do like that because I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like if I could just not care and do this, you know, you have to align, like your stuff has to align with the integrity, with a purpose, with a, like you can't just do whatever. You can't. It's and you know why? It's because you know better. It's because you know better. Um, so the key, what's going to be going on, and then I'm just going to say this, and then we'll have to go. But so at 15 degree, this is what I'm looking at, everybody. The solar eclipse is going to be at 15 degrees. So I can see that she starts this Aries at 17 degrees in the fifth house. So it's going to be in the fourth house for her, right? The lunar eclipse, which is the opposite, is also 15. So the opposite is in, sorry, the opposite is over here at 15 degrees. This, remember, see her Saturn is at 12, and that lunar eclipse is going to be at 15. Oh, you're learning to let go of the hard work. You're learning to quit placing so much responsibility on yourself and taking the brunt of everything. Does that make sense, Kathy? Oh, the Sag is always going to get you in trouble. That's what's fun. I have that Sag moon, I know. Yeah, so you're like me. I'm not afraid of hard work. That's you. I'm willing to take the responsibility. I'm mature enough and I listen. But I don't want to work so hard at recovering everything I've lost. I know that there's a simpler, not simpler, an easier way. I don't know what that is yet, right? That's Saggy. I don't know what that is yet. That's the ninth house. You can't see it because we already talked about why you can't see it, because other lives you were able to see it and you cheated. So you can't do that this time. Okay. I know there's an easier way to have abundance and happiness and joy. And I know I've been Eeyore lately, but that's because this is going to be worked on. That's what you're trying to let go of. You're trying to let go of that. My line is, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. Yes. You're trying to let go of so much responsibility, so much. You can't help it. Like you've always had Saturn in the 10th house. So you're the one that would be like, yeah, if we need to get this project done, let's get it done. I'll take charge and we'll do it right. And then, other people don't show up and you're like, all right, I'll work 20 hours today and I'll work 20 hours tomorrow, whatever it takes, to get this stuff done. Right. That's just a scenario. But, you've been honoring yourself and learning more about the bigger picture of life, about magic, because there's magic. So you're learning more about putting in play, not having to do it so hard, not being so hard on yourself, right? So as these eclipses happen, you've got some great things coming up here. I feel like you might have some help you don't think you. I feel like you're going to have some help you're not even going to know where it came from. When I put my mouse on this area as a medium, as an energy translator, I'm feeling like some situation, something comes and helps you right here. Okay. Yeah. I feel like that. I feel like Saturn's going to reward you over these next couple of years. Your life is going to look very different. Very, very different. Oh, and you've got Uranus over here. Yeah. Oh yeah. And Jupiter here. So you're already having the bigger understanding of how to make yourself more stable and do it the way that you want to do it. That's that Jupiter. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Yeah. I'm so excited for all of y'all. I love looking at these charts. We're going to do this again because I really like doing this. with everybody. I love looking at charts. I love looking at y'all stuff. So I hope that y'all have a great weekend. Thank you so much for those of you that let me look at your chart. Thank you for opening your energy up and yourself up so that people can maybe get an answer for themselves that they've been wondering. So I really appreciate you giving of yourself. You are so welcome, Angela. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me and watching all my videos. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. I really appreciate you. I love you too. I do love you. You know, Kathy, I love all of you. Thank you so much, Cindi. I had a have a fab weekend. I am. I'm going to relax. I'm going to rest. Oh, one more thing before we go. Can we do because we forgot to do it yesterday, so we better do it today. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Sorry, I that's such a Gemini thing. It's like, let's all go, and then I'm like, wait, hold on. Sorry. Let's reset the vagus nerve. Let's reset the vagus nerve. Okay. Yep, Dot knew what I was talking about. But I forgot to do it yesterday. Y'all gotta remind me because I'll forget. Okay. So for those of you that are watching me later and have never seen me before, I like to reset the vagus nerve for everyone. I like for you guys to do it. I'm just gonna guide you and help you. But the vagus nerve helps you with headaches, helps you with anxiety, helps you kind of align your body back. And let's align our body for the weekend. You can do this several times a day. You're going to yawn, and that's the response that you want to let you know that you reset that part. If it doesn't come right away, don't be hard on yourself. Some people, because you've been in such a fight or flight for so long, or a freeze, it's going to take a minute. Okay. So be kind to yourself. Keep doing it. It'll come. It'll come. All right. So here we go. What we want to do is I want you to look to the right. Notice how far you can go with ease. Look to the left. For me, it's always the left one that's a little bit off. And then go to the front. Then I want you to clasp your hands. Okay. Then I want you to put them at the base of where your skull and your neck start, right? And then I want you to relax the flaps. Relax your shoulders. Just relax. And then I want you to, sorry, my glasses keep, And then I want you to look to the right with just your eyes. Keep your head facing forward. Look to the right with just your eyes. Relax. See, I'm not even relaxed. Relax. We don't even realize that we're so uptight sometimes. Relax. Put it to your eyes. Look as far as you can, but don't strain yourself. But look as far as you can until you get the yawn. Ooh. And then we want to do the same thing and look to our left. Relax. Relax your body. We're going to look to the left until you get the yawn. Ooh. And again, for those of you, and then you can put your hands down again, and then you can like turn again, and you can see that there's a difference. And maybe you need to do it again because like this, I can feel that it's better, but it's still a little bit tight. So I'll probably do it again. So, for those of you that are having trouble, that have never done this before, that are really so uptight and don't realize it, what you can also do is throughout the day, there between the gum line and your front teeth, there's that little ball, I guess. If you can take your tongue and you can press on it, and that helps. So you do that. You can do that several times a day, all through the day. It kind of helps reset everything and reset your vagus nerve. Again, will help with your headaches, will help. I know we talked about sinuses. Maybe I'll do that next week. I'll introduce that. But for right now, I want to be able to do the vagus nerve every day where we're just kind of feeling better. I have so many modalities that I can help you guys out with. That's kind of why I'm like, if I could just get enough coffees to pay my bills, then I could just stay on YouTube live. I mean, I can do live YouTube all day long. Oh, good, Kathy. See, it happens. It will happen. She said, Kat said, I just clicked on it and yawned every time you yawn. Yeah, I do that. Anyway, I love you, love you, love you. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for all of your support. I will see you guys on Monday. Bye.